The following program is brought to you by NLTV, the People's Platform.
Aloha mai kākou, and welcome back to another episode of Ōpio Media Makers. I'm your host, Ashley Kirkowitz, and today we sit down and chat with one of our Ho'olono Scholarship recipients for Fall 2025. Twice a year, NLTV awards these scholarships to Ōpio that are pursuing careers in media, storytelling, culture, and community impact. And today, our special guest star DJ is Kamakanōweo Kekauoha-Schultz. Aloha. Noveo is a double major at the University of Hawaii at Hilo, majoring in Hawaiian Studies and Environmental Studies. And his journey is rooted in aloha aina, in cultural pride, and a deep kuleana to the stewardship and protection and restoration of our native ecosystems, which is incredible. And I just want to say that our scholarship committee was so struck by your humility, your compassion, your drive, your years of volunteerism, and you embody everything that this scholarship is about. It's about elevating and uplifting our leaders, our youth leaders who care so much about Hawaii now and into the future. So welcome to the podcast and congratulations.
Mahalo, mahalo.
Of course. So tell us, when you learned about being a recipient of this award, what was that like for you? What did you feel, and how will this help with your academic goals?
Well, I was in my class, just got to my class, and I opened up my computer and I see this email, and I open it up. And first of all, thank you so much for that letter. Like I haven't received a scholarship like that with a detailed letter and talking about everything like that. So that was really awesome. And then I just felt really honored to just represent you guys' team, and you guys are helping me a lot, just helping me be able to go college and earn my degrees, and everything is gonna just help me with my career in turn and my ability to give back. You know what I mean? So yeah, thank you guys.
For sure. Congratulations. You know, in your application, you talk about wonder and kuleana emerging at a really young age.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how these two forces have guided you in your life and your ability to make decisions.
Yeah, so I did talk about my first inspiration for conservation. That's one of my biggest drives in life, and it was when I was 10 years old, on Molokai with some family, and just seeing and being inspired by the environment around me, and also inspired by the problems I seen, and all these things that I know. The beauty, it's not gonna stand if all the invasive species come here, you know. So that kind of just that has been my fueling source for all the volunteer work I've done, reaching out to people and even just trying to take things into my own hands. In my own backyard, I kind of started like a native nursery in a sense, and with this, I've given plants to my neighbors and my school, and yeah, just trying to kind of spread awareness and conservation in the little steps that I can. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I think what's so cool is not only are you inspired, but you take action. And one of the things that you did during high school, you started the conservation club, right?
I did.
What is it? Hui Ho'opulapula.
Yes.
And you led some really incredible efforts, the plant giveaways, and then planting, 750 native plants on campus in a single day.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, what did starting that club and leading that hui teach you about yourself and how to mobilize others?
Oh, that's a good question. So we had a club day for our school the year before, and I went walking around and I just didn't find the club that was on the same path as aloha aina and just native plants in general. So because there was no club like that and it was lacking, I wanted to kind of start something and take it into my own hands. So the next year after that, that's when I started Hui Ho'opulapula. And it took a lot of effort. It took weeks of talking to faculty and teachers and making proposals and just kind of having faith in the process. And then it came to fruition. I got to start Hui Ho'opulapula, and through this club, I learned so much about my classmates. I was able to teach them a little bit about my love for native plants, you know? And I also learned more about myself, that I can be a leader in that sense. I never really was one before to be the president of clubs or hop in the front of the lines and stuff. But Ho'opula kind of showed me that I can in my own ways, and it's even easier when it's something that you're super passionate about too.
Yeah, you are absolutely one of these like humble leaders, and you don't need fancy titles
Yeah.
to like make an impact. So congratulations. That's
Thank
really
you.
awesome.
Thank you.
I hope that others were inspired in your school to keep up those Aloha Aina
Yeah.
efforts.
I'm glad that my club is still running today. So I just hope that it's just gonna keep on going, you know?
That's quite a legacy.
Yeah, I hope so.
So your love for Aloha Aina has also led to some pretty cool volunteer work: Maui Nui Botanical Gardens,
Yep.
Oahe Forest Restoration, DOFA, the Division of Forestry and Wildlife, and even the Snail Extinction Prevention Program. What drives you to volunteer, and what would you do to encourage others to volunteer as well?
Volunteer, like for me, the root of it is just aloha, you know, because you're not getting paid for the work. It's truly out of your own wanting to do it. So having volunteer work like that, it's a different type of work, you know, and it's rooted like deeply in aloha. And what drives like my volunteer work is just wanting to well, it's kind of selfish. Like I want to learn more from them, you know what I mean?
Mm,
So if
mhm.
I can just give back in that sense, just through volunteer work, then like that it's kind of a reciprocal relationship, you know.
Yeah,
Like I get to learn from experts and leaders around the community, and then I can also give back in my little way, you know.
volunteering is so addicting. It
It
feels
is.
so good to be part of something bigger
Yeah.
than ourselves. Yeah.
Right.
So you mentioned wanting to learn from others. You had an opportunity to shadow Keahi Bustamante,
Yep.
right? Do you want
Yeah.
to talk a little bit about that and perhaps some of the mana'o that you learned that you carry with you, and maybe even a little bit about why mentorship is important?
Yeah, so Kelly Bustamante, he's probably like one of the most influential people that have volunteered.
Mhm.
Just his story in general, like for the snail extinction prevention program, he was the head leader for all of Maui Nui, which is Maui, Lanai, Molokai, and Kaʻolave. He led all of those efforts, and he was like the head guy over 4 islands. So he would talk to me, and he said like being the konohiki of which is like the leader of
Mhm.
in Aina, being like the leader of 4 islands is like it's not easy, but if he doesn't do it, then no one's gonna do it,
Mm.
and the species are just gonna wither already because there there are so many native species that have gone extinct already, and you can't get them back, you know.
Mhm.
So that's just his drive for all this work is super inspiring to me, and he's super like intelligent about everything too. But mentorship is everything in my path, and I feel like everything for others too. Like having good mentors is just gonna give you the right step forward to kind of know what you want to do and what kind of impact you want to make, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's so good to be open to the wisdom that our elders have to share,
right.
because they have our best interests at heart. And oftentimes they tell us things that we may not want to hear, but we need to hear in order to keep pushing forward. So it's great
Exactly.
that you have really solid individuals in your life that you can lean on to help guide you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm still like wrapping my head around the fact that you're a double major,
Yeah.
Hawaiian studies. So are you fluent in Olelo,
I
Hawaii?
am fluent in Ōpio.
Wow. And environmental
Yeah.
studies, the sciences. How are you weaving together these two knowledge systems to influence what your future career could look like? And what role do you think storytelling can play to raise awareness about issues that you're seeing within these topic areas?
It's a great question. I feel like these two subjects of like Hawaiian wisdom and environmental studies and sciences, like it's super close knit together, you know?
Mhm.
Like especially for the impact that I want to make in a career in conservation. Like I don't want to just be just restoring species and like just doing all the sciences in that sense. I want to reach more people and take it to a cultural level with education in like the Hawaiian importance of this plant or like the significance of these places that we're going to and what this bird or snail had what his responsibility was in like Hawaiian culture and back then and even now and today. So yeah, just I feel like you can't take away the two, you know, like
Mhm.
Hawaiian studies and environmental studies. It's really
Intertwined.
it's intertwined, and it's gonna be like a lay that I can give back to my community, and yeah, like I'm excited to do that for sure. I mean, there's a lot of questions I have about how I'm gonna do this, but
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just trying to take it one step at a time, you know.
Is there like one thing that you want to do that you're passionate about, like from the get-go that you want to work on when you graduate?
I kind of want to enter into work with DOFA. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mentioned them before in my
Yeah.
application, and it was really influenced through my work with Kelly Bustamante and
Mhm.
kind of building connections with the team. Like they all have their own knacks and their own responsibilities, but they really come together as a team. Like
Mhm.
they'll all come together for a snail project or a fencing project, and they'll all help each other. You know,
Mhm.
so I really like that sense of like you can learn from everybody, and you guys all have to come together. It's like you're kind of forced to explore new fields. You know,
Yeah, and collaborate.
yeah,
Um, I want to talk a little bit about your ohana for a moment. In your
okay,
application, you mentioned critical medical emergency within your family and
yeah.
how that shaped your understanding of resilience.
Mm.
I don't need you to go into the details, but I'm curious how that experience influenced your sense of purpose and how you show up in the world.
Yeah, so that was a really scary time for sure. Like my brother being hospitalized for over a month and my mom being away. And it was during summer too, so I had commitments and internships and stuff going on too that I was like right in the middle of too. And then it was hard going every day, like just thinking of my brother, and thinking of and just trying to stay positive, you know. But what definitely got me through that was Keokua. Like
Mhm.
our family were super prominent and in just believing in Keokua, you know, like he's the one that got my brother through everything that he did.
Mhm.
And now he's not only like recovered from it, but he's like flourishing, you know? So it's just a testament to his strength and a strength that like we don't have as humans, you know.
Mm.
We can't heal people. It's all in the hands of Keokua. And yeah, so we pulled like every single day, multiple times a day. Just and also communication. So pule communication, trying to stay, like keep everybody in the loop,
Yeah.
and mom trying to update us on everything that happened. And yeah, so stuff I learned from that event is that pule is powerful. You know,
Mhm.
that's a belief that I hold true, and I still pule every single day, and I try to keep that close and something that I don't forget to do, you know? And then communication is key too. Just
Mhm.
like I try to keep my family in the loops of whatever I do. And I try to talk to my brother more and cherish like him all I have him, you know?
Yeah.
Because like when you go through an experience like that, like almost losing a person, like you really you don't want to take them for granted anymore.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what I learned from that big event.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. It really
Thank you.
does put things into perspective. And you're right. You absolutely cherish those that, are close to you. So
Yeah,
I'm glad that you have all this time with your ohana and you folks are close.
yeah, mahalo.
Um, in your application, you talked about civic engagement and how in high school, you and your classmates went to the state capitol to advocate for water rights. And even when the bills didn't pass, you learned something really powerful. And so, reflecting on that experience, what did it teach you about advocacy and systems and community change?
Yeah, so that was my junior year, and I would say that was one of my highlight years of high school because we went on like not hundreds but many field trips. Like it was almost every single week we had a field trip, and then we also had this era of advocacy that's carrying through like what many of us are doing nowadays. Like I look at my classmates, and we all graduated now, but they're still up there like in Zoom sessions testifying, and they're still writing testimony. I'm still writing testimony too, so. I feel like it was an effort that really made an impact on us. But yeah, so we visited Oahu like 3 times, and it started off as a small group, and slowly more students came and more people added, and we would just like we'd lobby and we'd testify in front of these kind of big names, you know, and kind of scary in a sense. Like we didn't really know what to expect, and we
Mm.
just go and like talk to these government officials like face to face. But I learned that like we all have a voice, and as an Ōpio myself, like we as a youth can make a difference with just opening and sharing our voice. And that's a big thing I learned, like usually you don't hear of like kids going up and lobbying with these big like legislators or house or representatives, but I learned through that year of high school that we can really make a difference, like we can make a big difference because we got all these bills like really far in the process, and it was like right there, almost like it would just need a few more steps to get passed, and then it only takes one guy, to reset the whole process. But even after our bill got killed, we we switched it over to the House of Representatives side, and we tried to make a similar bill that wasn't the exact same one as the one that got killed, but still had the same intentions, and
Mhm.
that one got far too, but it did eventually get killed. So it's a hard thing to kind of fathom in that sense, and it's a hard system, but we just got to keep on fighting, and yeah,
Keep on showing up.
keep
Even when
yeah.
it's difficult, I think it's important to keep on showing up and, putting up the good fight. So thank you for being engaged in that process.
Thank you.
I have a couple more questions. I can't help myself because in your application, you painted this very hopeful vision about Maui and Hawaii being this beacon of ecological resilience. And so I wonder, when you think about the future of Hawaii, what does it look like and feel like? And how are you going to help build it?
When I look at the future of Hawaii, I just think of new technologies being used to kind of overcome challenges we see nowadays. There's too many challenges for me to like list right now. Like, I get overwhelmed, but I just see I see solutions, and I see people rising together to just give back to the Aina and restore these species, these species that like really make up um the stories and the histories of our islands. And like many of these species, like you don't see them anywhere else too, so I envision a future where people become more passionate about conservation and try to get more involved and realize the importance of these plants and stuff. And it's gonna be essential that we use like technology, because there's like places that you can't reach, and there's
Mm-hmm.
like it's it's a hard career to just do on your own strength, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So with the use of technology and with the use of outreach and community involvement and yeah, just outreach it's a big one too. But like I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, that's exciting. I love the fact that you're going to merge technology with ike kupuna,
Mhm.
right? And find a way to ensure that our ecosystems continue to flourish. So that's super cool.
Thank you.
Okay, last question. You opened up with a memory, and you mentioned it being on Moloka'i at that forest reserve, 10 years old, thinking back on all the years of your life. If you could share a message with 10-year-old you, what would it be?
Just keep going. Yeah,
Mm,
just dig into that fire within you to want to give back, and it's gonna be hard, but it's gonna pay off. And I'm still telling myself that today, because at the end of the day, I don't know what plans are in store for me in the future,
mm.
but I do know that I have a drive for this work, and it gives me purpose. So just keep on going.
Wi'imua,
Yeah,
right on, Oveo. Thank you for taking the time to check us out here at Naleo, for chatting with me. So impressed by you, your humility, your leadership, and your commitment to Aloha Aina and our community. Thank you.
thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. To everyone listening, if you are inspired by today's conversation, you can check out all of the Ho'olono Scholarship Awardee podcasts and more about upcoming scholarship opportunities at naleo.tv/scholarship. Until next time, I'm Ashley Kirkowitz.
I'm Kamakanōweo Kekauoha-Schultz.
Ahui
Mahalo.
ho.